Welcome to the New Zonderlings podcast, where we explore the weird and bizarre. Here are your hosts, Noah and Jeanette.
Hello and welcome to the New Zonderlings podcast. My name is Noah and I'm joined by Jeanette.
Hi, all those Zonderlings out there. Every time I open this, my partner rolls his eyes at me no matter what I say. So I'm just going to be as weird as I can be from now on. It's true, you know it. I got a question for you, though.
What?
Can you name a place that has UFO sightings, lizard people sightings, Lemurian sightings, is like a spiritual mecca, has seen UFOs fly into the side of and disappear?
No, I can't. I don't even know what Lemurian is.
Well, you're going to find out today.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking about Mount Shasta.
Shasta.
Not the soda.
There's a soda named Shasta?
I'm pretty sure there is. Fact check.
Fact check. Well,
Already.
Fact check. Already. 30 seconds
30
in.
seconds in. I'm almost positive there's a soda called Shasta. Well, at least there used to be.
There is, in fact, a soda named Shasta.
Yay, I'm right about something. Cool.
It's like the first time.
So the first story I came across, I'm just going to ignore you. Move on. First story I came across about this, the title was "A Mysterious Hole Appeared on Mount Shasta."
A mysterious hole.
Each theory behind it tells a different story. And I like the name of the person who wrote this. It's Cat Shooknight.
Cat Suge Knight.
Shooknight. Like,
Shook Knight.
Like German spelling.
Interesting.
Schuknecht.
I see.
Not, is it night or not?
You're
Like
asking
Crystal
the wrong
Knot?
person.
I don't know. I know very little about German. I'm just guessing here. I'm guessing it's a German name, though. I'm
I would
right on
assume
that.
so.
So, the mysterious name, right, guy or girl, don't really know. Cat might be a girl. Writes, Elijah Sullivan has spent the last 6 years trying to solve a mystery. About 10 years ago, a hole about 60 feet deep appeared on the side of Mount Shasta, California's highest volcano.
So it's a volcano.
Yes.
So it has a hole already.
Well, I'm gonna touch on that just after I finish reading this,
Okay.
because there is a very simple explanation for why a hole would be on the side of a volcano.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody out there who knows is probably like, you don't even have to read this story. This is dumb.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We know what this is. But anyway, this is a whole new story, so I'm reading it.
Oh, yes.
It seems to have been dug by hand at night using a makeshift pulley system to remove the dirt. The only clues the diggers left behind were a ladder, some buckets, and plastic water bottle. So obviously someone was there.
It's a vent. That's my guess.
I mean, it could be. This guy, Elijah Sullivan, is actually writing a documentary. So he's going to do a documentary film. This story was written in 2018. I did look this up ahead of time. I know I'm terrible about that, but I did it this time.
Wow.
It is in post-production now. So as of the date of this podcast, it hasn't been released yet.
Okay.
But I can't wait to see what kind of weird stuff he puts in it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because he gets kind of weird.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting. I mean, I think.
Interesting.
So he has all these theories about what... Don't look at me like that.
I think you should say fascinating.
I can't use your word.
That's my word. Interesting is my word.
He has all these ideas about what it could be. And one of the theories that he has is it's the lost continent of Lemuria.
I would say Lemuria.
Lemuria. I know that because it's spelled like lemur. I understand that is your first instinct, but I'm pretty sure I've heard it pronounced Lemuria. 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 We're spending a lot of time on this. Lumera.
We were told by our editor to make sure we could pronounce all of the words in our notes, our show notes.
We didn't do it.
You didn't do it. I am not allowed to read the story.
I have heard other people pronounce it Lumera, so that is what I'm going to say.
Lee Maria got it.
Some people in Mount Shasta believe that the lost continent called Lumera is hidden beneath the mountain, along with its capital crystalline city, Teos.
You lost me pretty quick, too.
Well, we're getting into some deep weirdness, but that's what we're here for.
Did you say Crystal City?
Crystalline.
Oh.
Crystalline city.
Oh, so yeah,
Teos.
Crystal City. What does that mean?
It's made from crystal? I don't know. The name Lumeria, I'm going to struggle with this, originated with the 19th century English zoologist who believed that lemurs had used the lost continent as a land bridge to migrate from India to Madagascar.
So Lemuria.
I know that's always been kind of like a evolutionary big question mark. How did lemurs end up on Madagascar?
Madagascar. Well, they, were on a ship with a lion, a giraffe, a hippo, and a zebra, and they crashed off the boat.
They crashed off the boat.
I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I think their ship sank.
No, it didn't sink. I think the crates fell off.
Oh, is that what happened?
I'm pretty sure.
It has been.
It's been a while. I told you. We're talking about the movie Madagascar, by the way.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell.
Anyway, while some people think Lumera existed only in the mind, others say they've seen tall robed Lumerians shopping in town or traveling in and out of the mountain in cloud-shaped UFOs. Cloud-shaped UFOs.
It's not the first time we've heard cloud-shaped UFOs.
Yeah. Why is that ringing a bell?
It's from our our 2 episodes ago, we were talking about the end of the world, and the gentleman whose name I can't remember now, who had all the different religions in one, said that God would manifest on TV and come back in the form of him.
Yeah. That's where that came from.
And save people.
Yeah, it would look just like him.
Yeah.
And therefore he is God. I know where that's going, yeah.
Well, his theory was that people would be raptured or saved by buying tickets on cloud-shaped UFOs.
Cloud-shaped UFOs, yeah.
Right. So that's where we've heard that before. However, have you seen the movie Nope?
Yes.
Yes. The alien in that.
That's true. That is.
Yes.
But I've seen pictures of the cloud-shaped UFOs they're talking about on Mount Shasta, and they were much different.
Much different. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I suggest everybody look that up. It's kind of cool, but we'll talk about that again here in a minute.
You know the movie Nope stands for Not of Planet Earth?
Huh?
Not of Planet Earth?
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It was kind of depressing. It made me feel really sad. But I tell you, that part, I'm going to ruin this for everybody that hasn't seen it.
Spoilers, skip ahead. If you haven't seen it.
Yeah. The part where the neighbor kids or whatever are playing a prank on him by dressing up as aliens scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, which is fair.
I was like, what in the world? Because at that point, you don't know what the alien is.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be this.
It's
Nope, don't say it. We'll let people figure it out.
You either know or you're gonna know.
Is the most creative version of an alien I've seen personally. I think I can say that without
True, but I think maybe the alien from the movie Alien is pretty close.
I don't know.
Not in size, but it's.
Oh well, no, not in size. I don't know.
And then you find out what's really happening to the horses. That was really sad too.
That was messed up.
I was like, oh my God, he's selling his like prized, really trained horses.
It's like
that's what's happening to them. It was really sad.
It's like a sacrifice.
Anyways,
moving on.
Back to the story. You'll hear a lot of people talking about Lumero. People make a pilgrimage here. It's like the New Age Mecca. A shop window on Mount Shasta's main boulevard displays a book on Lemurian portals. Some people believe that the lost continent of Lemera is hidden beneath Mount Shasta, along with its capital city, Teos. So we're saying that all again. Sorry. In 1987, an event called the Harmonic Convergence marked Mount Shasta as a destination for New Age spirituality. It was a huge production, one news report from the time calling the gathering a spiritual Woodstock.
Fascinating.
Okay, so now we're going to go into some other history of Mount Shasta as far as it being a spiritual place. It is connected to quite a few different Indian tribes, Native American tribes.
Curious.
I don't say Indian tribes anymore.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? It's not very PC of you, Jeanette.
I'm older.
I'm older.
It didn't used to be PC.
Back in my day.
Anyway, the mountain is sacred to the Winnemen Wintu tribe, which is indigenous to the McCloud River area of Northern California. I just like that name, McCloud River.
McCloud River. That is somewhat pleasant.
We heard about the hole, says tribe's leader Kaylin Sisk, who worries that spiritual and recreational visitors are harming Mount Shasta. We came out of that mountain, so we're obligated to be the watchers of the mountain. So you got some myth and lore in there, too.
Yeah.
That's why Sullivan's second theory about why someone dug a giant hole on Mount Shasta is that they were looking for Native American artifacts.
Oh, okay.
There's a pretty long history of Native American artifact looting here, says Sullivan. It makes sense because so many tribes have been here over so many centuries.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, that makes sense to me, personally.
Digging for artifacts like arrowheads or human remains without a permit is a serious crime. First-time offenders can be fined up to $20,000 and imprisoned for up to a year. The penalty is 5 times worse for second-time offenders.
This is in California.
California.
Yeah.
Which, I just want to bring this point up. It's not really important to what we're talking about, but it made me giggle, and I want to see if it makes you giggle in the same way. Later on down here, we're talking to Oregon State police officers, okay, about the looting. I guess about the hole. It says, I called 2 Oregon State police officers who had been working on looting cases, says Sullivan. They said, oh yeah, that looks like looters. That was their whole statement.
That was it? That was the whole thing? Oh, yeah, that looks like looters.
Yeah, it looks like looters. There's a bucket. There's a bucket there.
Oh, yeah, bucket classic sign.
There's a water bottle,
What?
Somebody was drinking some water while they were doing this.
Wow.
So that was...
Wow.
I giggled when I read that because I was like, okay, we want details about this story.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it looks like some looters.
That wasn't even worth giving a statement about.
No, it really wasn't.
But does it just come down to gold? Do you think somebody was digging for gold there?
Oh, I don't know. Was there supposed to be gold there?
Somebody was doing some mining, says Carolyn Napper, the district ranger for the Shasta McCloud Management Unit of the Shasta Trinity National Forest. It's a mouthful. She says the diggers were looking for gold and that someone was eventually prosecuted for digging that hole.
Oh, so they did find someone for it.
Maybe.
Okay.
That's all that is said about it.
Huh.
So, apparently it wouldn't be totally unprecedented. There's a history of gold rush era mining in the area.
Okay.
But Napper says it isn't likely that there's any gold where the hole was due to the volcanic geology of that part of the mountain, which, duh.
That's what I would have said. It wouldn't make sense.
I don't know that anybody is like, yeah, let's go find gold on the side of this active volcano.
Is it active?
It is semi-active.
What?
I know. What does semi-active volcano mean? But I did look this up, and it's very rarely active, but it is still technically active.
Okay, I see.
I think the last eruption was 3,000 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're due for another one.
They say that about the Yellowstone one. We should do an episode on that because that kind of frightens me.
We need to do a whole episode on Yellowstone altogether.
Something about Yellowstone altogether.
Something about Yellowstone altogether. That'll be the name of the episode.
Yellowstone altogether. Something different altogether.
It's got to be super long name.
There's something about Yellowstone. Something different altogether.
Something different about Yellowstone altogether. We are going to investigate and find out what it is.
Oh, this is funny. My next story that I looked up, I'm going to let you read it.
There's something about Mount Shasta. Is that where you were getting that from?
I obviously have read it before.
Are we just going to name all of our mountain episodes or our park episodes about there's something about
Mount Shasta
place?
Something about fill in the blank
place.
Yeah.
That's right.
So this story was by Atlas Obscura, Laura Kinnery, 2020. That's when this story was written. I'm not going to read you the whole thing and kind of skip ahead, but it's about the mysteries of Mount Shasta, and she's talking about Lemurians in this particular paragraph. Lemurians aren't the only unusual figures said to inhabit this standalone stratovolcano, usually seen from Interstate 5 about 60 miles south of Oregon border. Mount Shasta is believed to be the home base for the lizard people. So here comes the lizards.
I think this is the first time we've talked about lizard people.
Reptilian humanoids that also reside underground. Yes, we need to do an episode about this because there's an interesting theory about blood types in lizard people that I would like to talk about because I happen to be the blood type that they say is lizard people.
What's the blood type?
Rh negative.
I don't know what I am.
So every, the basic blood types O, A, AB. You can either be Rh positive, Rh negative.
I don't know if I'm
Rh negative is not as common, and it's a Rhesus gene, like the Rhesus monkey. And so people that don't have it aren't related to monkeys.
A discussion for a later episode, I feel.
We could really... I don't know. I'm making that up. I just
you're
know,
making that up.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that Rh negative is a Rhesus factor. Now, whether or not that's the Rhesus monkey, I don't know, but it's spelled the same, so sure.
Wow. Just wow.
This is how this stuff gets started, everybody.
Yes, it is. It's literally how it is started.
I'm not a monkey, but you are. Okay.
Wow, that was so mean. I don't know if I'm a monkey or not. I could be a lizard person.
The mountain is a hotbed of UFO sightings, one of the most recent of which occurred on February 2020. And, the story was written in 2020, so
right.
Could have been more recent now. In fact, the mountain is associated with so many otherworldly, paranormal, and mythical beings, in addition to long-established Native American traditions, that is almost like a who's who of metaphysics. It has attracted a legion of followers over the years, including poets of Sirius, Joaquin Miller, and naturalist John Muir, as well as fringe religious organizations such as the Ascended Masters, who believe that there are enlightened beings existing in higher dimensions.
Wow.
What is it about this mountain in particular that inspires so much belief? It is kind of weird.
You tell me. I don't know.
You tell me what it is. Mount Shasta is one of the most prominent of all the Cascade volcanoes, an arc that runs from southwestern British Columbia to northern California.
Wow.
Huh?
I said, oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It includes Washington's Mount Rainier and Oregon's Mount Hood, among others. It's so steep and so tall that it even creates its own weather.
Wow.
That's why we're going to talk about these UFO-shaped clouds now.
Crazy, yeah. Okay. All right. I see. Okay.
This includes the spaceship-looking lenticular clouds that tend to form around the mountain. By a human air mass that hits the volcano and then has to go up a little bit to cool off. That's a weird way to say that, but sure. So air hits the volcano and is pushed up and it cools off and it creates these weird round clouds. And they're very smooth looking. I've seen pictures of them.
Everyone thinks they're alien ships.
Yeah, but they're obviously clouds. I mean, everybody's seen a weird cloud, right? Everybody's had that moment where they're like, oh my gosh, look at that cloud. It looks like a fill in the blank.
I suppose.
A
I don't
bunny
think I
rabbit.
have personally.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen some weird clouds. Usually, yeah, really early in the morning or late at night when the sun's setting is when you get a lot of that weird, the lights bouncing off in different ways, and you just.
Well, that's part of my problem. I work nights,
Yeah,
so I don't really get to see the day change.
The day change. The mountain also sits about 15 miles or so west of the standard arc line of the other Cascade volcanoes, a move that took place about 700,000 years ago. So that volcano picked up its stuff, said, "I'm leaving you," and went off.
Wow.
We don't really have a good explanation for why it moved out there. I just gave him one. It didn't like the other volcanoes.
Wow. Okay. I don't think that's quite it, but
A statement that seems to make Mount Shasta's mysteries appear more otherworldly by the minute. Bigfoot has been in existence for as long as our people have.
oh, has he? Is he even real? That's one debate.
I haven't seen them myself, but maybe I wasn't chosen to see them. I have different gifts. Who is saying this? This is...
You're supposed to know.
I kind of skipped ahead, and now this is someone quoting this. Okay. Montauk Indian tribe. So that's somebody from their Indian tribe saying that. So in this guy's opinion, this Mount Shasta is the home of Bigfoot, and you can only see him if you were chosen to.
Right.
Hey, man, the Indians know. The Native Americans know.
You did it again.
So I don't know. What do you think so far about all this? I think that we could probably disprove the UFO-shaped clouds. It's just weather.
It's just weather. It's just a volcano.
I did want to touch upon the hole, though, before we move on, because
Gross, but okay.
I think we're over that. But the hole, I'm going to call it the hole of Mount Shasta. If you know anything about volcanoes, there are, you already said it, vent tubes that happen with volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody came across one, found one, and decided to dig down into it because they were bored. I don't really know why.
Some kids.
They thought they might find something in there. It is home to an older Native American, tribal land or whatever. They might have been trying to get some kind of artifacts, which I didn't know. I don't know about where we live, but obviously in California it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But where we live in Kentucky, finding arrowheads is pretty standard.
Yeah.
So if you take one, I don't know, is that illegal?
I'm not sure. You're asking the wrong person.
When I was a kid, I remember walking through the woods with my dad, and that'd be like, "Hey, cool, an arrowhead." And you just put it in your pocket. And then
Yeah, that's it. It's yours now.
on, hindsight, maybe that wasn't what you were supposed to do with it. I don't know. Hand it into a museum.
You're a kid, and this was what, the 1800s, so...
It was not the 1800s when I was a kid. It was the 80s. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the 1880s. It's
The 1980s. He's so good for my ego.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, this is reported on by the Los Angeles Times.
Mm.
Yeah. Odd accounts and strange tales orbit around Shasta. Orbit around. See what they did there?
I see that, yes.
Lee Romney. Still, Lee could be a man or a woman. Reporting from Mount Shasta, California, locals didn't find the ads posted at the laundromat or running in the Super Saver to be strange at all. A number of people, in fact, reached out to Brian Wallenstein, the researcher looking to gather stories and information for a book on Bigfoot and UFO sightings. So this place really does attract them, doesn't it?
Them? I think we could technically be grouped in with them.
Us? Is that better? They really attract us, don't they?
Conspiracy theorists, yes, I'm sure.
I think I wouldn't really call myself a conspiracy theorist. I like finding things that are truly mysterious, but a lot of times I find it hard
to believe.
To find that.
Oh.
I mean, you hear a lot and then you look into it and you're like, come on, guys, that's not a UFO, it's a cloud.
Well, I think the days are...
Stop smoking the devil's lettuce.
Okay, all right, I'll stop you there. I think the days of word to mouth conspiracy theories are gone. And the internet is so disprovable nowadays that that's probably why it's few and far between stories now.
Well, Mount Shasta actually has a lot of documentaries and stuff about it. If people are interested in looking that up, and
there's a new one coming out.
Well, if it ever does, that story was from 2018 when he was filming it.
Post production takes a long time.
It's 2024 and it's still in post production. So.
Well, if it's a documentary,
especially if he's doing it himself, maybe too.
That's true as well.
It could take a long time, but I watch it actually. This guy on YouTube called the Y Files. I might have brought it up again.
Yeah, I think you have.
He did an episode on Mount Shasta, which is way more in depth than what we're doing here, but
right.
Might be worth a look if anybody's interested.
We're bite-sized.
Yeah.
We're your commute to work.
He had an hour, okay? We've got half an hour. We're going over.
Yeah, we'll be
a little more than an hour.
We'll be a little longer today, I feel.
So a woman emailed to report that she'd seen a bright disk hovering above Mount Shasta.
A bright disk.
Yep. So these are all people that are giving him stories. It's just kind of...
Okay, I see.
A man named Larry recounted in his own research, including the telepathic communication with them...
Larry Two Sheds.
Conducted in preparation for the day extraterrestrials would reveal themselves to Earthlings.
You didn't hear my joke, did you?
What?
It is a very, very obscure joke. Larry Two Sheds.
Larry Two Sheds. Mm-hmm. Doesn't ring a bell for me.
All right.
I'm
going to leave it there.
Okay.
If you know, send us a message on our website if you know what that's from, because I'd be very interested to see who knows who Larry Two Sheds is.
And if you don't know, you can write a letter and tell Noah he's silly.
We don't have a P.O. box yet.
They can comment on the website.
Okay. Then why'd you say write a letter?
Because I'm old, okay?
Write us an electronic letter. Send it to our email.
Bite me. People pulled him aside to share anecdotes of mysterious lights and stargates, or to whisper the names of neighbors and brothers with tales to tell.
Oh, Stargate. So you mean like Stargate, or...
not the movie Stargate, like portals, I think is what they're talking about.
So a Stargate. That's what Stargate is.
But, did you say it like that? I'm picturing the Stargate from the movie Stargate. It's a big round thing that you have to activate or something, and people get sucked into this vortex.
I guess that's true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Secondhand accounts flowed in about the forest ranger who casually spoke of spotting a Bigfoot east of McLeod and the deer hunting people from the Weed who came across a bright chrome vessel on a dark mountain road. From Weed.
From the Weed.
Is that a place?
Couldn't tell you.
Their stories will die if I don't do this. Wallenstein, a 56-year-old computer technician and self-published children's author, said recently from his home here, a 2.5-acre sanctuary of sorts for the 6 cats who serve as his muses.
He sounds insane.
He sounds awesome.
He sounds insane.
He sounds like he's somebody you want to, if he's your neighbor, you're just like, I'm going to get this hot cup of tea and I'm going to go sit on the porch with Wallenstein. Mm-hmm. And he's going to tell me some weird stuff.
Well, we have some different opinions on Wallenstein.
Mount Shasta, a 14,160-foot peak, often tinged pink and apenglow and topped as lens-shaped clouds, lived as illicit awe. When John Muir first caught sight of it, I was 50 miles away, afoot, alone, and weary, he wrote in 1874. Yet all of my blood turned to wine, and I have not been weary since. A tale written a few years later by a teenager just northwest of the mountain, a story of advanced beings lived in a crystal city beneath the mountain, cemented Shasta's otherworldly reputation. The mountain has been touted as the site of an energy vortex that allows passage into the metaphysical dimension, the birthplace of spiritual foundation, whose adherents believe that they can ascend to the eternal realm. I said flame. Eternal flame. It's the eternal realm.
Down you go.
And a hot spot for UFOs that hide in the clouds and enter the mountain's core through mysterious portals.
Stargates.
So I have so much more, but I'm going to stop there and we talk a little bit about that because that's a lot to digest.
That was a lot of just information. All these different stories.
We've run out of time, so maybe we'll have to do this again sometime. But I've got stories about the Lost Coast and the Ghost Choir of Mount Shasta. So, Ghost Choir. Missing
Ghost
people
Choir.
of Mount Shasta. Hazard summaries. Like, I've got more to talk about, but we're kind of out of time today. Well, I would say real quick about the missing people. It did make it sound like there had been just hundreds of people go missing there. It's 11. But that was still very tragic if just one person goes missing.
Right.
But
Is it a coincidence at that point?
I don't know. I think
Did they fall into the volcano?
I don't think it's open like that. There are some interesting mud. I'm going to call it mud lava because I don't know what else to call it.
Magma.
No, it's not lava. It's mud. Another story for another time.
Okay.
Oozing mud instead of lava.
Oozing mud.
Like what you heard? Leave us a message on our website.
You can find us on TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, X, and Facebook.
Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the New Zonderlings podcast. Be sure to check out other episodes of this podcast when Noah and Jeanette will once again explore the weird and bizarre right here on the New Zonderlings podcast.